Hello, it's time to come back to the hormonal balance series, which I had to abandon for a month because of horrendous events in my life, which I talked about in a previous video. But today's topic is going to be all the different period problems and what they actually mean about your health and your hormones. So let's get started. So the first issue that is very common is spotting before the periods or right after, especially with brown blood. That is a sign of low progesterone. Progesterone gets produced after ovulation, but if your body doesn't produce enough, then there won't be that abrupt fall just before ovulation that actually causes bleeding. So if your progesterone was already kind of lowish, then it will fall just a little bit towards the period, but not a lot, and your body won't get that clear message, and so we'll keep spotting little by little until it finally starts properly. So if that's the case, definitely check your progesterone levels. I've also made a video in the past all about low progesterone and how to test for it, how to deal with it, so definitely check it out. I'll leave a link here for you. Another reason for a heavy flow could be hypothyroidism or low thyroid function, so definitely check that out. Also, low iron. It's quite a catch-22 because heavy bleeding can cause low iron, and low iron can also cause heavy bleeding. So definitely check your iron levels as well if you are bleeding heavily. Now, another slight variation from this period issue is really dark, clotty periods. That is also often due to low progesterone and estrogen dominance. The next issue is something that I experienced myself in the past. Not so much anymore. I think it's gotten so much better in the last few months, and that's really long, dragging periods that kind of stop and they start again, they stop and they start again. And I've got two explanations for this problem. So the first one is from an Ayurvedic perspective, and it basically means a Vata imbalance. It means that you have too much air, too much instability, not enough routine in your life. So the best way to address it is to build routines everywhere you can, and I also made a video about the importance of routines in the past. I think it's an extremely important thing. Also, you have to try to eat warming foods, really soothing, creamy foods. And the next explanation is more Western, and that is low estrogen. You really want to look into your estrogen levels in this case. What happens during the second half of your period is that your estrogen starts increasing. At the beginning of the period, both progesterone and estrogen abruptly fall really low, but towards the end of it, estrogen starts climbing again, and that is how the bleeding stops. But if your estrogen is not climbing up enough, then the bleeding just won't stop. So definitely look into estrogen levels, they might be too low. The next period issue is very short, scant periods, also very light, watery flow. That is also a Vata imbalance according to Ayurveda, so definitely look into that. As I said before, eat nourishing, warming foods, get enough sleep, do enough relaxation, make sure that you have routines everywhere. Exactly the same rules apply as before. But also, this kind of period means that your estrogen is too low. So for estrogen to be normal, there are lots of things you can do, such as not dieting, not restricting your diet too much, eating enough fat because you make all of your hormones from fats. Also taking enough time to rest, not over-exercising. Overtraining, in fact, is a huge reason for low estrogen levels in women. So basically just be really kind to yourself, and it should help. Also, there are lots of supplements, herbal remedies that can help, things like maca, fenugreek, donquai. There are lots of things you can try to help your body produce more estrogen if you're missing. The next period issue that I would like to talk about is missing periods. Now, that can be caused by a lot of different reasons. One of them is PCOS. That is probably one of the most common reasons why women miss periods. Also things like over-dieting, too restrictive diets, just like I said before, overtraining, too much stress. Basically anything that causes stress to your body or your mind has a potential to disrupt your periods, because when there's a lot of stress, your body starts stealing your progesterone, and if you don't have enough progesterone, you can't make enough estrogen, yada yada yada. Everything's connected. So often the key to getting your hormonal levels right is managing your stress. So when your periods are missing, it usually means that either your estrogen or progesterone is low, or both of them are low. Also, another reason for missing periods could be really low iron, or iron deficiency, or anemia, which is like a more advanced iron deficiency. I am a member of a couple of iron deficiency groups on Facebook, and I've seen numerous women talk about this, that at the beginning the periods are too heavy, but when iron deficiency gets seriously bad, then the periods disappear at all. Maybe it's like the body's defense mechanism, it just doesn't have enough blood to spare, so it stops the period. Definitely something to keep in mind if your periods are missing. The next period issue is no ovulation, or not very clear signs of an ovulation happening. So perhaps the jump in temperature after the ovulation is not very significant, or you're not getting a lot of cervical mucus around ovulation, and it's very important to address. The thing is that in order to have a strong ovulation, you need to have good estrogen levels. So if you are causing your body a lot of stress in some ways, or for example you're taking herbs that are known to reduce estrogen, such as DIM or calcium glucarate, you might actually reduce your estrogen levels to such a point that your ovulation just won't be strong enough, and then that will send your progesterone levels down as well, which unfortunately is what happened to me in the past. That's why I really want to warn you. Really keep on track on your hormonal levels if you're taking any of those supplements that reduce estrogen, because they do reduce estrogen quite a bit, so you need to be careful. Another problem, which potentially might not even be a problem, is spotting during ovulation, which is called breakthrough bleeding. A lot of women have it, and doctors seem to think that it's totally normal, that it basically means that you're extremely fertile. I don't know what to think of it. I personally have only experienced it during one cycle in my whole life, but doctors say that as long as it's very little blood, and if it lasts for no more than a couple of days, there's nothing to worry about. But only you know what's normal to your body. If you've never experienced breakthrough bleeding before and you suddenly start experiencing it, it's definitely worth going to the doctor and get it checked out. But if you've always had it, it probably just means that you are very fertile, and embrace it. The next issue is really sore boobs just before the periods, during periods, and around ovulation as well. And these are all of the times when estrogen is the highest, or it's the highest compared to progesterone. So if that's the case, it's very likely that you have estrogen dominance, so you will need to address it. So these are all the period problems that I could think of when I sat down to make the list, but if I missed something, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can maybe make a video about it in the future. But in general, a healthy period should last 4 to 5 days and should have really nice bright red blood with no clots. So it's always good to know what it should ideally look like, and then we'll know what we should strive for. So we hope that you found this video helpful, and the next one in the series is going to be all about heavy periods and all the natural remedies that you can try. It's something I'm focusing on in my own health journey right now, so I've actually done a lot of research and I have a lot of tips. So I hope that you'll find it interesting. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.